Hello everybody and welcome back to my continuation of my book reading of Stephen King's The Body. It's been roughly 3 months since I stopped reading this book. The reason for that is actually because the books I'm reading, I'm renting them out from the local library, and in this whole time I wasn't able to rent it back out because there was always somebody else who rented it. So I was finally able to get my hands on it again. So I will be continuing my book reading on this one. I was at chapter 14 called Darkness in the Forest. We went another mile and then decided to camp for the night. There was still some daylight left, but nobody really wanted to use it. We were exhausted from what happened at the dump and on the bridge. But it was more than that. We were in Harlow now, in the forest. Somewhere was a dead child who probably had a broken body and was covered with flies. Nobody wanted to get too close to him with night approaching. By stopping here, we thought there had to be at least 10 miles between us and him, and of course all four of us knew there were no such things as ghosts, but 10 miles seemed about far enough if we were wrong. Vern, Chris and Teddy gathered wood and started a campfire. Chris laid it on stones and made a clear space around it, because the forest was very dark and he didn't want to take any risks. While they were doing that, I was sharpening some green sticks and pushed lumps of hamburger meat onto them. When the flames were low and the fire was good and hot, we cooked the meat, but we were too hungry to wait. So we pulled the lumps of their sticks early. They were black on the outside, red on the inside, and completely delicious. Afterwards, Chris opened his backpack. He took out a packet of cigarettes and gave us each one. We lay back on the ground or against trees and smoked our cigarettes, as if we were grown men. But we were feeling good. There's nothing like a smoke after a meal, Teddy said. Absolutely, Vern agreed. We laid our blankets out on the ground and lay down on them. Then for about an hour we fed the fire and talked. The kind of talk you can never quite remember when you get past 15 and discover girls. We talked about fishing and sport, and about the summer that was now ending. Teddy told about the time he had been at White Beach in Brunswick, and some guy had hit his head while diving and had almost drowned. We had a long discussion about our teachers at school, but we didn't talk about Ray Brower. But I was thinking about him. There's something horrible about the way darkness comes to the forest. There are no car lights to make it softer or less sudden. There are no mothers' voices calling for their children to come in now. If you're used to the town, the coming of the dark in the forest seems unnatural. And as if I thought about the body of Ray Brower, I didn't feel frightened or wondered whether he would suddenly appear as a ghost. Unexpectedly, I felt pity for him, lying so alone in the dark. If something wanted to eat him, it would. His mother wasn't here to stop it, and neither was his father, nor any of his friends, nor Jesus Christ. He was dead, and he was all alone. And I realized that if I didn't stop thinking about it, I was gonna cry. So I told the others a Ledeo story. Ledeo is a soldier I invented who had a lot of adventures in the Second World War. It wasn't a very good story. And when it ended, as the Ledeo stories usually did, with a single American soldier coughing out a dying promise of his love for America and for a girl back home. It was not his face I saw in my mind's eye, but the face of a much younger boy who was already dead. His eyes closed, blood running from the left corner of his mouth, and behind him, instead of a war-scarred France, I saw only dark forest and the railway tracks, dark at the top of a bank against the starry sky. And that was the end of chapter 14, Darkness in the Forest. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.